Blood Moon at 3:30 a.m., why Xiao Zhan's midnight post sparked a cultural conversation. Within hours after the event, keywords related to Xiao Zhan surged across social media. What made this moment attract so much attention? In the early hours of May 3, 2026, long after most of the city had fallen asleep, Xiao Zhan was still awake, working. Fresh off a demanding schedule that included attending the Youth Night event at the 33rd Beijing International Film Festival and receiving a student-voted Most Popular Actor of the Year award, he returned directly to set. Filming for his new project stretched deep into the night, only wrapping around 3:30 a.m. in Qingdao. It was then, instead of heading straight to rest, that he paused to capture something rare, a series of hauntingly quiet images under a crimson-tinted moon. The photos he later shared featured a deep red, blood moon suspended over the sea, framed by coastal textures, reefs, still waters, and even silhouettes of magpies perched atop glass structures. The composition felt deliberate yet unforced, with a striking balance between color and emptiness. Many viewers quickly described the images as wallpaper-worthy, but the reaction went beyond aesthetics. There was a mood embedded in them, calm, slightly surreal, and unexpectedly intimate for a public figure of his stature. Part of the fascination lies in timing. Earlier that same day, Xiao Zhan had stood under bright lights receiving recognition from an enthusiastic audience. Just hours later, he stood alone under a dim, red moon, quietly documenting a fleeting moment. The contrast feels almost symbolic, though perhaps unintentionally so. It invites a simple question: what does a person think about after the applause fades? Of course, not everyone interpreted the moment poetically. Some online discussions quickly connected the blood moon to themes in his upcoming drama, tentatively translated as the final 10 days. Fans noted an uncanny coincidence. Qingdao reportedly experienced a similar atmospheric phenomenon, dense fog and red moonlight, just before Xiao Zhan joined the production in early April. In the original story, a key character encounters a blood moon in the same city before being drawn into another world. For some, this overlap blurred the line between fiction and reality, fueling speculation about destiny and narrative alignment. Yet, science offers a far less mystical explanation. The reddish hue of the moon that night was not due to a total lunar eclipse, but rather atmospheric conditions, low temperatures and heavy moisture scattering shorter wavelengths of light while allowing red tones to dominate. In other words, it was a natural optical effect, not a supernatural signal. Several science bloggers were quick to point this out, urging audiences to appreciate the phenomenon without attaching symbolic meaning. Still, the human tendency to connect dots, especially poetic ones, is hard to resist. Xiao Zhan's career itself has seen moments that fans describe as strangely aligned with external events, from unusual weather conditions during past productions to technical disruptions on set. Whether coincidence or selective memory, these narratives add a layer of intrigue to his public image. What stands out more concretely, however, is his work ethic. After a full day of public appearances and awards, he returned immediately to filming and continued until dawn. Then, instead of disengaging completely, he chose to share a quiet visual moment with his audience. There's something subtly revealing in that gesture, not performative, but reflective. It suggests that even amid a tightly packed schedule, he still notices the world around him. Perhaps that's why the response felt so personal. Fans described the post as a silent conversation, a form of connection that doesn't rely on words. In an industry often driven by noise and visibility, a quiet image can sometimes speak louder. At the same time, more pragmatic voices remind us that coincidences, no matter how compelling, should not overshadow the real measure of an actor's work, the quality of the performance. With a reported high-budget production, advanced visual effects teams, and large-scale virtual sets, expectations for the final 10 days are undeniably rising. But in the end, it will be storytelling, not symbolism, that determines its impact. So was it just a beautiful night captured at the right time, or something that resonated more deeply because of who captured it? And why do moments of stillness from public figures often feel more powerful than their most polished appearances? If you're curious to explore more stories where culture, emotion, and subtle moments intersect, consider following along on YouTube at Meomi PopScope.